Welcome back, it's me, hello, and thank you, Jinxie, for the sub. I love you more than anything and everything. The only thing that comes close is my family and Heroes Esports. Casting is still close, but Jinxie is topping it at the moment. However, we have games to cast for now, and my poor Jinxie is all the way over in the land of Yanks. So therefore, I have to settle with Heroes of the Storm Esports, which I'm still happy about, because it's all good, because we have our second series of the day coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move this over here, because we're on this series now. As you can see right now, after the previous series, Granite Gaming are sitting in 7th place. Somehow, still ahead. Oh, wait, no, we're on... Wait, I'm wrong. Okay, well, either way, here are the games that are coming up tomorrow. I moved the wrong thing. We're all good. These are the games that will be coming up tomorrow. I will be casting these. Sidestep Kings versus Oxygen and 30k versus Simplicity. Tune in for those. Back this goes, because there's actually the second game today, and I'm a dumb boy. As such, as you can see, we will be casting WildHeart Esports versus Chili Mountain. Currently positioned, WildHeart Esports sit in tied 3rd place with Simplicity. Neither one of Simplicity or WildHearts can currently overtake crowd control, as the most maps they can win this week are 3, which would put them at 10 and 5, or 10 and 6, or 10 and 7, if either of them were to win their series. However, they still have plenty of opportunity to try and make their way back into it in the following weeks. But right now, they are fighting for a solid 3rd place. So WildHeart Esports and Simplicity will both be looking for map wins. The more map wins, the better, to keep them higher on the board. Speaking of map wins, though, so is Chili Mountain, sitting at 0-9 in terms of maps, yet to take a single series or map in the HeroesCCL. Meaning the pressure is on to Chili Mountain to try and not end the series in the just in that 0 and something position. So the pressure is on for both these teams today. Chili Mountain to not be the team that is the punching bag and loses to everyone. If they can beat WildHearts, it would be a big upset. But they also have a little bit less pressure on them at this point. They're not fighting for that top position. They're just fighting for a map. That suddenly becomes a lot more attainable when you look at it that way. It's less, we have to win 3 games. They are looking at, we have to win 1 game. And then from there, they're like, okay, now we have to win 2 games. They are looking at it one step at a time. WildHeart Esports, though, the pressure's onto them. They need these points to try and separate themselves from Simplicity and try and catch up to crowd control. And also, the pressure is very much on them to not be the first team to lose to Chili Mountain. There's a lot of pressure there. When you realize that there is one team out there that if you lose, you are the only team to have lost to them. When you are fighting for that top spot, that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure. It may have a psychological effect, but luckily these are very experienced players and they might not have such a problem when it comes to dealing with the mental aspects of a series like this. And of course, every team makes mistakes. Back in the days of HGC, Dignitas, Fnatic, they lost to teams that you wouldn't expect them to lose against. But in this case, they have a long way to go. Chili Mountain. Let's see what they can do. Of course, Chili Mountain are running with a coach. Their coach is Schwimpy, who joined the roster recently. He's now had 2 weeks to try and turn this ship around. We'll see what changes he's been able to implement, if they've been able to make anything happen. And of course, they do have their new player, Bergold, who can take the play, who will be their main tank player now, and will play in most roles, with Mysticles likely being the player to sit out. However, I would want Chili Mountain, honestly. I think now's the time to start practice changing stuff and having experiments here. I would like to see them swap in Mysticles. At this point, you've lost enough games that a change might have to be made. You've got to try something. I think my ideal situation for Chili Mountain today, they are playing with Mysticles. My ideal situation is they've traded CPX for Mysticles. CPX is playing okay, but I don't think okay is good enough in CCL at the moment. Do you know the full info, Garner? Do you know who they're swapping in? Because I hope it's not Maka, because Maka's been playing superb, I think, this season. And CPX has been playing okay, but again, I don't think okay is enough. I would like them to swap in Mysticles for CPX. CPX is not playing. Okay, that's the roster I'm looking at. That's the one I think they need. If Mysticles doesn't work, I'd very much maybe consider seeing if they can do their second season swap and see if they can bring in another assassin to try and make it happen. But Chili Mountain, they now have a point to prove. The problem with this is that if they do win, then there's going to be a whole lot of CPX is the problem memes. There's going to be a whole lot of memes. Oh boy, here we go. We will find out. It's going to be exciting. We're just waiting for the lobby to start up and get us going. But they're running with CPX today. Sorry, they're running without CPX. They're bringing in Mysticles. Mysticles is a little bit of a more flexible assassin, in my opinion, which I think is pretty great. We'll see if they can make the difference. But again, even though they're not running CPX, they're running Mysticles, they're trying something new, but they are trying against the team that was in first place for a lot of the early part of the season and now sits tied third place. There's a lot of pressure. There's a very, very hard trial by fire for Mysticles to see if they can make their way in. Mysticles has played this season, but that was due to Fury not being available when Maka had to take over the tank role when Mysticles took the second assassin role. So there's a lot of pressure coming in here. It's going to be a difficult series here. Once again, Chili Mountain, lot to fight through. WildHeart Esports, though, they have just expectations at this point. They were in the top of the season at the start. They were at the top of the board at the start of the season, and they had a little bit of a tougher road than some of the other teams. They have already had to play against some of the top teams, with WildHearts already beating out Crowd Control, the current number 2 team. It's going to be tough to do that. WildHearts beat out Granite, who are, of course, playing amazingly right now in a 3-0 in what was a relatively close game. That score is deceiving. WildHearts actually Granite put up a really good fight. WildHearts were able to take the 3-0 though, and of course WildHearts also took down Crowd Control, and last week they did lose their only match to Oxygen, the current number 1 team. So it's going to be quite stressful to deal with, whereas Chili Mountain, they have lost to Oxygen, potentially the best team in the league. They lost to Simplicity, very strong team, playing well, and they lost to 30k. 30k, though, a little bit further down the board. That's where the pressure comes in. WildHearts, they have played against some of the top teams. To lose to Chili Mountain right now is going to potentially be demoralizing, but again, these are very experienced players. Let's go. We have our draft set up. WildHearts on the left, Chili Mountain on the right. We're heading to Cursed Hollow. Excuse me. WildHeart Esports with the first pick. This is the map choice of Chili Mountain. Abatha immediately removed here. There goes Medivh. Taking these out of action straight away. Mysticles this season was playing the D.Va last time. Weirdly enough. They've gone for a very strange lineup in the past, of course. Let's see what they can do. The Vikings have been removed as well. WildHearts, they are taking 0 chances. They want none of the shenaniganry. They just want a standard game. Again, like we said, you can see that there might be a little bit of that pressure on them here, that they are not here to play games with Chili Mountain. Chili Mountain, WildHearts are a little bit scared of losing to them here. They've got a different roster. They might have something interesting and something tricky that they could play. Instead, though, we're going to see that Chromie start off, and Darkmock gets that D.Va. They go with D.Va and Greymane for Mysticles. Very interesting to see. Let's see how they play the rest of this draft. So the D.Va, of course, great for soaking on this map. It clears lanes so fast. Gives them a lot more flexibility. Greymane is also one of Mysticles' top heroes at the moment. This season, he's played Greymane, D.Va, Thrall, Abatha, and Sonya, giving himself a lot of options. They could even go for double bruiser play here. We'll see how they go. Mysticles, by the looks of it, though, so far filling in a lot for Darkmock in these fights. But he's already played Greymane. We do know this. There is a Greymane game on the board. Let's see where they can roll with this. There goes the Varian ban with Chromie on the board. Chromie and Stuckup especially. Varian becomes fantastic for dealing with Greymane and getting those single target picks, punishing individual out of position members, and seeing if they can get some kills going there. There's the Brightwing ban. Moving that from the board, Karazim Tyrael. A very aggressive composition coming in for Chili Mountain. Tyrael was brought in last week's games. The arrival of Bergalt brought the Tyrael into the repertoire of Chili Mountain. They did lose with it, but it is in their ballpark. WildHeart now. They still need a main tank as well. With Tyrael on the board, they need something with a lot of disruption, prevent their sanctification going off. Short cooldown CC. Johanna might be the top option here, would also help against Karazim. They go with Arthas. They don't care. They just want to slow down that very auto-attack focused comp. D.Va, very auto-attack focused. Greymane, auto-attack focused. Karazim, very auto-attack focused. That Arthas main tank. And of course, the classic triple bruiser comp, or triple frontline comp at least, that we see from WildHeart so often, making its return. They love this style of build. It makes them so tanky, and this is a build, this is a comp from Chili Mountain that wants to run at you. It wants to run at you, and Arthas is the direct counter to that. They still pick another auto-attacker, but one with a bit longer range. Stay safe, they pick the Phoenix for Maka. I think WildHearts have outdrafted them this time, but you can never count out the Sank. The Sank might make the difference here. Exciting to see the Arthas as a direct counter to this very aggressive comp. This is a composition that we would have seen back in the day from the from good guys in NGS, who were the winners of the Heroic division. They played very much focused on they played Arthas against multiple frontliners repeatedly. It was very effective, but also as a reaction to these aggressive styles. This is their first Arthas game, though, so it's the first showing for WildHearts, bringing out the Lich King, so very fun reaction here. That is good. Their second Deathwing game, they have so far yet to win with Deathwing. Sorry, their third Deathwing game. They have so far yet to win with it, so they are still a little bit out of their comfort zone, so fun to see. Dahako, though, 100% win rate, no troubles there. On the side of Chili Mountain, with their draft coming in, it's very out there again. They have yet to win with any hero, so they're going to have a little bit of trouble. Of course, they have won with some heroes in the preseason, so they have a couple points on the board there. Let's head into the game, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this going. On the left-hand side, it shall be WildHeart Esports. Funds, Pitkid, Unaverted, Buds, and Zergling fighting for WildHeart Esports with that triple frontline composition. Even go for Dragon's Ire, which gets the burst and percentage damage. Chili Mountain on the right, Mysticles, Beargalt, Chimera, Dark Chimera, Darkmock, and the bot lane shall be Maka. Very cool to see. So, how are they going to play this? There was a temptation to pick Rhyme here for the Arthas, but I'm glad they didn't go for it, instead going for the Howling Blast. Meaning for this is the fact they want to avoid just having those Rhyme stacks pocked very quickly by D.Va. So it would lose all value, not worth picking. Going for the cooldown, they go for the lockdown increase, makes it a lot easier to land. We see the Time Walker's Pursuit for Chromie, extra vision, keep everything going. Oh! Okay, chat pointing out that I completely missed that they just all burned medallions. WildHeart, the BM. Oh my god, they are going to go a little bit BM here. Let's see if it makes difference against Chili Mountain. I will say, I do think that WildHeart's won the draft pretty hardly here, so they're right to be confident, but wow, toxic. We're going to see Siege Cap started by Chili Mountain here, a little bit slower for WildHearts. People just starting to rotate. Ooh, the simultaneous sidestep by Mysticles and Chimera there. That was cool. We see regenerative tissue coming in for Dahaka. No movement speed like we saw from the members of Granite Gaming earlier. See, that works out for them. Full metal for D.Va. No surprise there, but First Blood. Maka is picked off by Pitkid and Zergling. Great rotation. Pitkid is, of course, Prismaticism from the HGC days. Chimera is Dark Chimera, as they are able to pick up their Bruiser Cam. Being mirrored on the other side. Pitkid helping Buds and Unaverted, but will still make his way to mid to make sure they don't miss any experience. The double off lane with the 3-man free to rotate how they wish. WildHeart's signature style by the looks of this. We go over Rushdown again, bit of percentage damage, very sensible from D.Va here. They could have gone for a self-destruct style against multiple front line, but it's a little bit riskier. As Pitkid begins to move forward. Full stacking quests here, the Frost Presence, no surprise there, and Frozen Wastes. It's so strong. Attack speed, movement speed, all slowed by Arthas, allowing him to step forward into this very melee composition. Pickett is justing. Sorry, P is on oxygen. My mistake. I got them mixed up. You are correct. Thank you for the correction, Beowulf. To be clear, Pickett is justing. My mistake. They look for Chimera. Trying to slow him down. Chimera gets away. Double dash, makes sure he is safe. Bartic armor for Stukov. Even more armor. Minion soak coming in for Dahaka. Going to be staying in the lanes as far much as possible, keeping the soak going. We see the Bound by Law for Tyrael. The extra slow. It's going to be a little rougher into Arthas, but it's really going to help against Chromie and against that Stukov. Channel coming in early as we see a gank attempt coming in from Chili Mountain. A 4-man gank, and it does nothing. Zergling burns his essence, and that is it. What a reaction from this player. Zergling playing that beautifully. Pops the essence, calmly drags the highest damage target, and just leaves. What a play. Teleport. Maka able to escape as well. Another multi-man gank. Both these teams hunting for kills. Both able to avoid them. Swift Retribution, of course. This should probably be an Icebound Fortitude game from Arthas. If I had to guess, there's enough... Actually, there's not that much CC. Does he need it? He could probably go for the Q talent here. He could probably go for Immortal Coil. I don't think this is a Rune Tap game. It might be a Rune Tap game. I don't know if this is an Icebound Fortitude game, honestly. Zergling going to be ganked again. Burrows out. Turnaround attempt coming in. Cooldown reduction on the drop for funds. Keeps himself safe. And he does! Immortal Coil. This will keep Arthas very sustained. When he heals himself, he gains a 50% bonus healing. When he targets an enemy, it damages them and heals him. He basically gains his own mini Holy Shock. We're going to see tributes traded back and forth, although Deathwing will make it a little bit difficult. In fact, Pickett goes in for one more interrupt. Deathwing helps as well. Finally, though, this tribute will go over to Chili Mountain, making this a 1-for-1. Drag cooldown reduction. Finally, we see a Dahaka not going for the Symbiosis at level 7. They've been seeing a lot of Symbiosis Ferocious Stalker style here, going for an extra bit of slow. Instead, we go for that Feeding Frenzy. Cooldown reduction of 2 seconds every time Dahaka basic attacks for that Drag Tongue. Very nice to see. Ooh, another very interesting talent here. Phoenix, drifting away from the norm. Master Synergy, fine. Target acquired, fine. Combat Advantage. Funds, being forced to get away. Plasma Cutter doing 35% more damage to people who are slowed. Well, there is a Tyrael with Bound by Law on the board. There's a Diva on the board. They could go for the slow talents there, but yeah. A little bit of extra focus, a little bit of extra chase there for him. Really trying to capitalize on this Tyrael. They're going for a single target strategy here. There's the fly. Deathwing to the sky with level 10 on the board for both teams. Zergling ganked one more time. Isolation immediately used, and the gank fails. Deathwing going to come in to assist the D-push. Tribute was grabbed by WildHeart, making this a 2-to-1 right now. And this camp, Molten Breath, Zergling dodging. There's just one quick shield from Bergolt. But WildHeart, they're able to sustain. 1 kill to 0. Very small XP lead. And yes, it was, because I exist in a perpetual state of 2005. We see the focus onto the boss by WildHeart. No reaction from Chili Mountain. Don't even know if they know it's happening. They've realized now, but they're going to be too late. Tyrael will scout it, but the boss is done. Heroics-wise, we see the ghouls. No Syndragosa memes. That sustain is going to be insane here. We see Sanctification. Cursed Bullet. That could make the difference. Boss started by Chili Mountain, but guess what? WildHeart's finished theirs ages ago, and they do not need this tribute. They can give that over to Chili Mountain in exchange for preventing this boss. Bud sees it's happening. Swift Retribution gets everyone out of danger. Yep, completely shut down. Pickett, he's looking for kills, though. They are not done with this. Root does not land. They just use that as the engaged timing. Dahaka, not here for this. Bound by Law, slows Pickett. You see that big damage output from Maka there. That combat advantage, working out in their favor. But the boss was leashed, and Zergling, he could just try and cap this. They stopped the boss, and they might get the curse. Marker coming in. Will he make it? He runs. He doesn't get it. There's travel time from the phase bomb. That's going to be the curse. The boss prevented, and everything comes up WildHeart there. You see Pit Kid tanking through 7-sided though. Good kill. Funds comes in from the side to try and absorb some of those hits, but it's too late. Dragon's Ire. That is a fantastic bellowing roar of Shatter. Mr. has taken out. The Sank was too slow. Time trap to stop Tyrael, to stop Burgo getting anything from the Sank. What a disaster for Chili Mountain. WildHeart's playing that at every turn. They push their way in. They will get this keep easily. They even look for Chimera. Molten Breath coming in. Self-destruct will buy some time. Zergling just able to burrow away from it. That will guarantee this keep going over to WildHeart Esports. What an insane play. They back away. Here comes the turnaround. Chili Mountain looking to try and get the kill. Punished. Slowing Saz to prevent the chase. They get a huge blow up. Such an important kill for them. Curse finishes. Dartmock does get rooted, but he will be able to back away. Pit Kid will be focused down, but will escape. Let's have a look at that fight on the point again. We see the big focus onto Arthas. A brilliant 7-sided strike. Deathwing did try to land. Clutch play from Funds, but look at this sleep. The sleep catches everyone. The Earth Shatter follow-up stun, and now watch Tyrael Burgos at the top of your screens there. He drops Sank, immediate time trap. Sank expires, he gets no value. Too late to catch the Grey, too late to catch his allies, and too early to save himself. He gets taken out. What a performance here. D.Va died in the top lane while we were watching that replay to the gank of WildHeart Esports, who will now steal the boss away from Chili Mountain. A Dunium Shell coming in for the Phoenix, trying to gain some extra armor and sustain that way. We have the armor reduction, though, to counteract it, coming in from Arthas, as the boss will make its way in. Siege coming in, looking for their second keep. WildHeart Esports. They put the pressure on. Old style Dahaka build, Essence Claws, extra damage, while he has extra Essence. Primal Rage, sorry. I thought it had a different name, but I'm mistaken. Boss moves its way in. Pressuring onto the keep. Micro Missiles does a little bit of damage. Defense Matrix trying to slow him down. What a Molten Breath positioning. Timeout used onto Tyrael. Lurking Arm shuts him down. No Sank here. And the turnaround picks up Chimera. Easy kill. Nicely done. That is a double kill. And the mech taken out by WildHeart Esports. Perfectly executed. Perfectly timed. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Pit Kid is absolutely amazing so far this game. Justin is putting on a clinic on this Arthas. The perfect pick here. Chili Mountain are being dismantled. That kill onto Arthas was incredibly effective on the early fight, but that was just because they caught Pit Kid alone. So far, this draft is just going brilliantly. Here comes Darkbox. They go for one more fight. Great Micro Missiles buds in a very rough spot. Holy ground. There's the Sank. Finally able to get the fight they wanted, but the camp was stolen. As long as they can get out, there is the bellowing roar. We see the retreat. Funds is dropping low, but Zergling from behind. Drag. Cataclysm. He gets out. It's up to Pit Kid and Zergling now. There it comes. One more. Holy ground. Molten Breath to buy the time. Chimera is low. Funds in full retreat. Mistclays looks for it. The Lurking Arm prevents the kill. It's gonna be a single kill going over to Chili Mountain with everything they had being used. We finally saw Justin take it out. They finally were able to chase him down. But Chili Mountain still on the back foot. They're approaching that level 16 though. Arthas bringing out that Embrace Death. More healing for him, more damage for enemies. The more health he has lost. Helped him stay alive so much during that last fight. Super strain for Stukov as well. You heard that, Jinxie? What did I say? Did I say something bad, or were you talking to my stream? I'm saying the Arthas is amazing. I'm saying it's kicking butt. It was the perfect choice. Waves being cleared out, bots being pushed in. Fountain even taking some micro missiles. One tribute to one. Here comes Funds landing in quite far back. Make sure he has the position. It's a full Lightning Breath build here. Sorry, full Molten Breath build. D.Va with some emergency shielding. The Holy Ground working quite well so far for Tyrael, who I believe also went the cooldown reduction on the sword. I don't think he went for the Burning Halo this time. He did. Heraldric Reforging. Went for the cooldown reduction, so more Holy Grounds. Better boss control. That's the play here. They have 6 wells. Gonna knock that down. Easy peasy. We're gonna see the focus. Tribute being stolen by Zergling. Boss gonna be contested. Molten Breath comes in with Conflagration. Sag doesn't even get a chance to go off. Zergling gets the drag, was looking for Mysticles, but the Cleansing Touch comes out. Chimera has that now. They charge forward. No kills acquired other than Tyrael. Full retreat comes out. They burned Ghouls, they burned Cataclysm. Not the worst fight Chili Mountains had. Yeah, they lost, but they've had worst fights. They only lost 1 member and burned 3 heroics. Overall, that's probably the best fight they've had. Boss going to be taken. Tribute is available. They even grabbed the fishing camp for extra control. Ah, the trait value memes. I am more wondering if WildHeart Esports are going to win this game quick enough that Arthas won't finish his stacks. Because that is a real possibility right now. Cleanse. Onto Dartmok, they chase in, drag, see ya mucker, quick kill there. Fun's looking a little bit low, Holy Ground traps them away, but they don't want to run away, they want to go in. There's the Sag, Bellowing Roar hits nothing, get wrecked mate, Bud's taken out, and the 3-man kills, able to get a great positioning there. Mysticles is stuck against Arthas though, not a great position, and they're zoned away from their own core. The full health boss is going to end the game. There's Siege Giants up in top lane, there's the Root, Cleanse, trying to keep him alive. Mysticles, no! He dives in. Burgalt goes down. That's all. That's 2 members down, leaving just Chimera up. Just Karazim to hold the line. 12 seconds until Maka. He's slowed. He's trying to run. The boss is ending the game. That will be GG. And game number 1 goes over to WildHeart Esports. WildHeart Esports takes game number 1 with the full health boss push and the catapults plus Siege Giants in the top lane with the checkmate play, able to pick up some kills there. Great root from the Arthas at the end there. A cleanse came out from Karazim, but actually hit the wrong target, preventing the real value from going through there. As such, here are the final stats at the end of the game there. 13 kills to 5 in favor of WildHearts, proving they did not need their medallions because the crowd control output of Chili Mountain was kind of non-existent. It's the slows, and that was about it. And as such, they just didn't need their medallions. Burn them all at the start. 43k damage from Unaverted, who was barely touched that game. They could barely even get close to him. Never saw Chromie under threat, just sieging in with those sandblasts, with everything. All spell power, all damage, all the time. The choke points were brutal, with Arthas and Dahaka holding the choke point, Deathwing with the Molten Breath, and if you engage on him, he just tanked through it. That was executed to perfection. WildHeart Esports, playing that very well. The only times they had a couple rough fights are where people got caught out of position, being a little bit too aggressive, aka Justin Pitkick getting caught out a little bit further back there, and during that Bruiser Camp fight where they did get chased down pretty hard. Well played. 1-0 right now to WildHeart Esports, putting themselves 2 games away from taking the series. And the pressure continues to mount onto Chili Mountain, who are now sitting at a very unfortunate 0-10. They have broken double figures. And the sad part is, if we have a look at the table right now, they are the 2nd team to break 10 on any score. Crowd Control broke 10, being the first team to reach 10 wins. Chili Mountain have won the record to be the first team to reach 10 losses. But there's still a chance. Chili Mountain still have their chance at a comeback here. They just have to fight. They gotta fight to keep themselves in this. They don't want to be the 0-11 team. Sorry, they'd be 0-12 at the end of this series. They don't want to be the 0-12 team. 3-10 is the goal for Chili Mountain now. They will still be in last, but this is for pride. This is for the comeback potential, and it's definitely to disrupt WildHeart Esports. I mean, they just burn all their medallions at the start of a game. If there's any team that Chili Mountain are going to be wanting to beat now, it's this one. Pressure's on. Let's see if they can do it. Chili Mountain now. Let's see if they can fight their way back against WildHeart Esports, who are just trying to create as much space between them and Simplicity as possible, fighting for that third spot and trying to catch up to Crowd Control in second place. Of course, they all have to get to Oxygen eventually, but WildHeart's already lost to Oxygen. Still got a bit to go there. Well then, we're going to be getting ready to jump into that as soon as our lobby is set up. For now, if you are enjoying the show, may I request that you drop a follow so that you can see when I go live. I cast CCL anytime it is on, and I try to cast other things throughout the week. I also have a quiz show that appears every now and again called the Heroes Global Quiz. So there's been 2 great episodes of that, and I am working on episode 3. And I have a Dungeons & Dragons show that I play every Monday at 7 PM British time, so 8 PM Central European time, where I am the Dungeon Master for Crowan, Faye, Jixie Cat, and Kendrick Swish, so a lot of familiar names there. If you're really enjoying the show, then maybe consider dropping a sub or a donation. I can only do this thanks to the support of wonderful people like you, because I need to afford to eat. So if you can support the show, it is very appreciated, and you can support the cast. It is 5E. You can support that by doing so. And of course, as the draft starts up, my cast today is sponsored by Simply Nuck Gaming and their People's Choice campaign. Throughout the entire month of November, they have been supporting me by telling you to vote on which of their systems receives the bigger Black Friday to Cyber Monday discount. And the votes were decided with the Ghost Canyon system receiving a $400 discount. It ships to Europe and the US. So if you're looking for a new system, $400 off is a fantastic deal. All of the other systems that were in the race also get $100 off. Thanks to the deal, and as such, a fantastic deal is available to you. Big thank you to Simply Nuck Gaming for the sponsorship, !SNUC, and click on the link to their Twitter to find a link to the shop and to see all the discounts that are available. Chromie is bad this time. Absolutely not, just says WildHeart Esports, and Chili Mountain are going to finally pick up the Junkrat. Junkrat makes it in for the first time today. He has been incredibly irritating so far. They have played him so far once, so there is a precedent set for this. WildHeart Esports, bring out the Leoric. Feels good there. That could be circling or justing or Pitkit here. So already the chaos has been unleashed. Their drafting style is so confusing, and I really respect this drafting style, where there's just so much flexibility. Where you see a Leoric from most teams, and you're like, okay, we know what the offlane is. You see a Leoric from WildHeart, and you're like, oh god. Is it Leoric offlane, or is this gonna be... is this Leoric offlane, or is this Leoric main tank? The chaos has been unleashed. Rexar gonna be coming in for Darkbot, gonna try and get that point control. Keep them sustained. Yes, Oxygen run Leo main tank as well, but it's been a preference for WildHeart more so. Let's see how they go. Both these teams like it. Both these teams have played it. Both these teams continue to play it. It's scary and weird. You can't cleanse a wall, is the saying around it. We see the Tychus banned away here. That implies, I think, they might be going triple frontline again. Maybe with Deathwing for a second time. Tychus already being removed. Chili Mountain now with Rexar on the board. Of course, Leo is one of the heroes who can actually sustain against Rexar well enough. So we might see the trade out back and forth there. Diablo. Banned away. Removing a potential main tank option as well. The Easy Bake Oven, Lightning Breath into Entomb is also good. What do we see for WildHeart Esports? We're going to be seeing Garrosh being picked up as main tank. So we do not see the Leoric main tank. Not this time. Not taking the Oxygen approach. WildHeart's running it too, but Oxygen definitely preferring it as Jada will be picked up as their first assassin. It's not actually common that we see Jada these days, so it is fun to see that flexibility. Jaina has been played by WildHearts, currently yet to win with it. This is their second time playing it, as Reyna and ETC come in for Chili Mountain. And that's the new tank Beargots coming in once again. They're in their second ETC game. And I believe their last one was last week. I am incorrect at that fact, so I apologize there. So it was Fury who played that before. Last assassin for WildHearts. I doubt this will be a triple frontline with just a Jaina. I'm wrong. I am very wrong. We see Yrel coming in with double bruiser main tank. Get wrecked, me. Yrel and Leoric, some of the highest damage offlaners here. With Yrel, once you get that spell power boost, can do massive amounts of damage. And Leoric with Drain Hope just eats people. Alrighty then. WildHearts bringing out the beef frontline up against the beef frontline. Ever had a beef bear meal? Delicious. I have no idea if they taste good. I know beef tastes good. Never tried bear. Pretty sure most of them are endangered or something. I don't know. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, we are preparing to head into game number 2 between WildHeart Esports and Chili Mountain. In terms of this, it's hard to look at stats because Chili Mountain's stats are all 0 except for very few heroes. But they do have some wins on 1 or 2. This Junkrat still 0-1 though. Going to be a hard game for them to deal with. Their highest win rates are Medivh, Gazlo, and Anduin. In terms of the heroes they have played and actually won on. None of those would make it into this game. Gazlo, of course, the nerfs have moved him out of the meta quite a bit, so Chili Mountain unable to rely on that. And we don't see the Medivh. Medallions all burned again, as you just heard them pinging off at the start of the game as we head in to game number 2. WildHeart Esports on the left, Buds, Unaverted, Pit Kid, aka Justing, Funds, and Zergling with the triple frontliner comp, and they go for a body check. Awesome. Chili Mountain on the right, Mr. Cleese, Maka, Chimera, Beargots, and Darkbok. Chili Mountain looking to not go 0-12 tonight. They are here to fight their way back in. This time there are more stuns, so this medallion is actually just legitimate BM. Drain Hope onto the bear. They tank their way through. Dauntless for Funds, giving himself some armor, will very much help against Mysticles. And even to a lesser degree against Maka. Great silence, but Funds pushes them out, and the bear lives. Wraithwalk has to be used by Zergling. Get out of danger. Alrighty. Unaverted. Smashing his way through the top lane. Getting those gems. Quick wave clear that Jaina offers allows them to double soak very easily. Let's see what they can do with the rest of this. Blizzard, power slide. Not enough. No damage, no high damage output yet. They've also gone for Exterminator. So double soak here. It's all about the wave clear. Quick and fast. Why did blue team burn all their medallions? For BM, Softbird. For BM. We see WildHeart Esports just playing a little bit further back for the moment. Wave's going to be cleaned up. It's a slow start to this game. Pit Kid is just waiting for someone to step out of position to make their way up. Face melt burned. Buds making the most of that incredible stock of auto attack damage. Keep the pressure on that way. I guess this would also be a good way to practice the medallion-free meta, as the medallion will be gone next year, I believe. We will see. There's a charge onto Beargolt, trying to catch him out. Good throw, follow-up, stun on the towers, and Beargolt shall Blizzard. Zergling, great wraparound. Zergling guarantees the kill. Early blood for WildHeart Esports there, picking up that kill, slowing down the rotation of Chili Mountain. Level 4s on the line, pretty much still equal for both teams. Neil Peasants with Ossian Renewal for Zergling. Biotic Armor for the Stukov, no surprise there. We have double mana regen talents for Jaina because she is the only damage dealer. If she runs out of mana, their fights are over. So keeping Jaina topped up is very sensible. So start off with the Fingers of Frost, gather regen globes to increase that mana regen by 0.1 second per globe, up to 2 per second, which is a great setter here. And Arcane Intellect, getting 5 mana from auto attacks and 20 from abilities while hitting chilled targets. And while above 75 mana, gain 10 spell power, which is pretty decent. 10% spell power, very solid damage output there. And this is all to just keep Jaina topped up. She'll keep the spell power, she'll keep the wave clear, and she'll keep being in the fight. Keep your mage mannered. Picket goes for Indomitable, no surprises there. Finds Bergelt, no throw gonna be dropped though. They play it safe. Rexar also playing safe, not going with any fancy talents, just giving himself the Rexar equivalent of the Regeneration Master. Otherwise known as the Hunter-Gatherer here. Just increasing health regen each globe. Funds a little bit caught out of position. There's the Steel Trap, and that's going to be Mysticles picking up the kill onto Funds, evening up the kill count here. Dark Chimera gets away from Unaverted and Pitkit. Pitkit stunned out. Polymorphed, stunned, and that's the double kill. Chilly Mountain have arrived. Zergling's looking to make it a triple, but he will back away. Chilly Mountain get the double there. They have enough for a turn in, and they're going to head to do it. Turn incoming. Everyone turning in their gems here, and that's going to be Chilly Mountain surging out to an early lead in this game number 2. Have WildHeart's been aboard they can chew. Would have been sure nice to have a medallion there. Chattering Teeth chasing Funds. There's the Sticky Wicket with the silence. Funds backs away. That was a great weighted pustule. Quick cleanse comes out from Chimera. Pixie Dust for the clear. Keeps them all safe. Bergalt knocks away Funds and also Pitkit at the same time. Keeps everyone out of danger. Cooldown reduction on the stuns for Rexar. Medallions are off cooldown for WildHeart Esports. Back in the game. Zergling. Drain Hopes. Takes a lot of damage from Darkmock, and now there are more people in this lane. Bad news for this fort. We'll have to see a rotation coming in here. Quick stun onto Bergalt. Big kid. Knock up. Looks for the angle to try and move in. Mysticles knocked into the Steel Trap. Another silence from that Sticky Wicket. Funds backs away though. It's gonna be a while. WildHeart Esports won't really get their composition to actually pop off until level 10. Clearing the lanes. This is all about WildHeart Esports just trying to keep themselves in control right now. They are behind, but they're not so far behind that they can't make a comeback. They have enough gems for their turn as well. Zergling gonna channel that. Bear will interrupt. 16 gems not turned in. Exactly enough what they need for the turn in right now. Bud's going to turn in his 13, interrupted by Chimera. And Maka isolated and killed off. That's the kill for WildHeart Esports, 2-2. They even up the kill count. Buzz gets his gems in. They need 3 gems. We're going to see Funds turning in 9. Buds with the zoning. And that will be the Web Weavers going over to WildHeart Esports. That'll keep them in this. Level 10's available for both teams, though. Entomb. Ardent Defender. You see the Mosh Pit Blink Heal. Unleash the Boars! Pretty standard talents across the board. Water Elemental. No Ring of Frost here. No cheeky play. Yeah, pretty solid, pretty standard talents all the way across the board here. And we see the Hyperion. They're not going with the Rainer's Raider here. Riptire caught by the Dark Wave, but it's still able to get the explosion onto Pitkit. Top lane is the lane they choose to pressure with the Water Elemental already being burned. Fight their way through the fountain easy enough. They've got a couple of minions still here. Concussion Mine used to buy them some time and clear a couple of minions out. Bot lane being cleared by Rexar. Mid lane already cleared by Rainer, and top fort will fall. This is the boss lane. This is a big priority lane here. WildHeart Esports able to put a little bit of extra pressure there. Bot lane for Siege Camp, mid lane for Bruiser. top lane for Boss, sorry. Throw. Taunts, but interrupted by the Medallion. There's the Entomb, Mosh Pit for the turnaround. Immediate massive shove into the Entomb, but Bergolt tanking through, undefended, being forced to be used. Now that's funds to escape. Heroics burn on both sides. Pretty much everything dropped, but Chili Mountain not fallen yet. They tank through this time. Waves being cleaned up, though. Enough gems for either team to get a second turn in, but positioning is being taken more aggressively by WildHeart, looking to try and channel those together. We see the bear being zoned away. Bergolt cannot step up. It's down to Junkrat to try and zone away. Unable to do so, though. No one's able to step up here. Second turn in of the game for WildHearts. Chili Mountains have finished their first as well. So third in total, second for WildHeart Esports. They clear out the Bruiser early. Here's the power slide. Big focus on the Pitkid. Entomb gets Mysticles. Chimera is just going to be able to teleport out here. Mysticles is low. They snipe him. Lurking up to prevent him escaping. Bergolt is the target now. Big slows coming in from Zergling. Riptide has zoned away funds. Drain Hope will not be enough for the kill. Kill goes over to WildHeart Esports as they push their way in. Webweaver just arriving. It started a little bit further back in the lane. They kill off the fort, and they rotate top. They're not worried about the bottom fort. They think the Webweaver will deal with that. It's looking pretty healthy. Instead, mid and top are the lanes. They want to start keep pressure. If you're going to snowball, you might as well snowball hard. They clear their way through. Even get a couple gems on the way out. WildHeart Esports piling on the pressure, just under a third health on that Webweaver. That was an insane throw into Taunt turnaround with the lurking arm for good measure, and Bergolt trapped in the Entomb as well. They get the double kill there. Webweaver looking quite low. It's going to release one more Dark Wave. It will not summon any more Spiderkin. Funds really chasing down Marker. They get the keep. That is what they came here for. You can see they were maybe looking for more. If they got that kill onto Marker, I would have been... Sorry, if they got one more kill there, I wouldn't have been surprised if they went for it. Yeah, if they killed Marker, they could have maybe ended the game there. Instead, they go for Boss, trying to guarantee themselves that second keep of the game. WildHeart Esports continuing to capitalize on their lead. They've been picking that up. They have so much boss control here. They've got the throw, they've got the hammer. ETC doesn't even have his Medallion right now. At least the one person who could maybe try and steal this. It would all be down to Encore. We see the hovering around, but they're too slow. Boss is already taken. You can see Funds and Pitkid step up very far to prevent Bergolt from making his way through without forcing an engage. Boss is confirmed by WildHeart Esports, and they're here hunting keeps. Entomb is available for Zergling as he goes looking for Marker. Unable to get the kill this time. Grenades coming out, try and weaken that boss as much as possible, but let's be honest, this keep is probably dying. Not a huge amount that can be done by Chili Mountain here. If they step up, they die to the Yorick. If they back up, they lose the keep. Backing up is the option that keeps them in the game. That's exactly what we see here. They play a little bit further back. Massive shove was used, forcing the disengage in case Chili Mountain tried to fight past them. Boss goes down, but that's two keeps dead already. And during all that time, WildHeart Esports, they bought so much time that they literally have another turn in. They have enough gems for their third turn in of the game. They've really just... This is a masterclass on how to play a convincing Tomb of the Spider Queen game. Gem-wise, 53 gems on Darkmock right now. He is the bank for Chili Mountain. If he dies... That's maybe game over for Chili Mountain. They'll be so down on gems. They'll have 30, which is a lot. But considering they're looking for more than one turn-in, that they're going to have to chain their turn-ins together too, it ain't good. Turn-in number 3, coming in for WildHeart Esports. Funds. Ooh, interrupts his turn-in a little early there. Interrupts one more time. They want to start that siege camp. They started the Bruiser. They're starting the siege. Starting everything. Everyone else will now come in and help out Buds. And that is turn-in number 3 for WildHeart Esports. They are prepared to brawl here. Garrosh yet to pick his level 16 talent. I think it's Earthshaker, but they could go a Mortal Combo here. Getting that second throw would really let them snowball. Also, 2 people in the Entomb would be throwing people into the Entomb would be very funny. There's the Entomb. There is the Entomb trying to drop it. Sorry, that was the taunt. Mosh Pit does actually get quite a few members this time. They get Jaina into the fray. Unavert stays alive, turn around, and Beckles is dead. Funds looks for the wraparound play. They still have Entomb. Leo trying to find the angle. They can't do it, though. They kill Misha. Darmok holds on to his gems, but those are Web Weavers and a Bruiser Camp pushing onto the core right now. Web Weaver's coming in top lane too. Riptire from the base to clear out the Web Weaver. That's what they need to prioritize now. Shots coming in. Mysticles, quick stun from Pit Kid. It's an They push their way forward. Core shield going down, Buds dropping low, but they focus it. Marker is taken out, and the core is dropping way too fast. That is GG. Game number 2 goes over to WildHeart Esports. Slow, methodical, a perfect Tomb of the Spider Queen game. They did die, so it's not the full perfect game, but in terms of map control, execution, knowing exactly when to rotate at the right time, that was a masterclass. Always having enough gems for a turn-in, always controlling where the enemy team was when they didn't. That was glorious. Well played. As such, you can see at the end, still, kills being acquired by Chili Mountain, 7-2 in favor of WildHearts. But yeah, Jaina doing more than enough damage to pick them up the kills. It was a very low kill game because everything came down to map control. 100,000 siege from Jaina. 80,000 from Leoric. Yrel, actually quite low, surprisingly. It wasn't able to get as much soak in there. And here we are. Very well played. An incredible performance from WildHeart Esports. The main stream is going to be going on its break here. Its 3rd break of the show. Not much we can do about that, so I'll be talking to you about some of the statistics here, what the next wins will mean for these 2 teams, and some of the player histories while we wait for them to get back. Jaina went for a little bit of extra DPS as well, really smashing her way through everyone in their way. Just what a performance. What a performance by WildHeart Esports here, making this look convincing, but Chili Mountain, they are still fighting back. Alrighty, while we wait for the mainstream to get back from their tea or coffee break or something. I'm sure the idea here is they're just having the time to go to the bathroom, but either way. Alrighty, so let's talk about some of these players in particular. Let's start with, again, talking about where these wins and losses will finish these teams in position-wise. If Chili Mountain lose this, they stay where they are. They stay at the bottom of the table at 0-12 in terms of map choices and 0-4 in terms of series. That's going to be bad. That's going to be sad for them almost halfway through the season and not being able to take a single series, but what can you do? If they'd be able to win, they would be 3-11. Still dead last, but with the opportunity, if they can take more series as the season goes on, to try and catch up and maybe move higher up the board. It's all about playoffs in the end. Doesn't matter where you finish at the season, if you get that playoff buff, then that's all you actually need to be successful in CCL. For the side of Words Are Hard, for the side of WildHeart Esports, they are trying to catch up with crowd control right now and, of course, create some distance between themselves and Simplicity. Simplicity nipping at their heels. Simplicity will be playing tomorrow, and they'll be playing against 30k. So a tough matchup for them. 30k currently sitting a little bit behind them at 1-2, but are still looking quite solid to try and make their way back in. Always taking a map no matter which series they play in. So they're always here to fight. Simplicity, they're going to be looking to try and catch up to WildHeart Esports and keep that 3rd place position. So WildHearts right now, if they can win the 3-0, they force Simplicity to get a 3-0 to keep that tied 3rd position, and 30k is not an easy team to beat. So smart play here. Very cool to see. Going to be interesting. I'm curious to see how well they can execute, how well they're able to make their comeback. There's a lot of work for Chili Mountain to do. Of course, the other matches tomorrow, we already mentioned one of them. We also are going to have Sidestep Kings versus Oxygen. This will be at position currently number 6 versus position number 1. Team Oxygen dropping only 2 maps this whole season. This whole season. They're playing beautifully. They're executing their drafts very effectively. They've had tough opponents in the form of WildHearts and crowd control so far. Sorry, in the form of WildHearts. But they still have a fight against crowd control later in the season. They still have to play Simplicity. Should be tough matches. They still actually have quite a few tough opponents. Oxygen, like I said, they have Sidestep Kings tomorrow. They have Granite Gaming next week. That should be a tough opponent. And then they have crowd control on week 6. And we already mentioned Simplicity on week 7. And Simplicity are scaling very well. See if they can keep that pressure going. Also, Simplicity plays very different to all other teams in this league. So we'll see if Oxygen's very unique style is able to deal with Simplicity's even more unique style. Gonna be fun. Gonna be fun to see. So, now let's talk about players in general, as we wait for the mainstream to get back from their break. So let's talk about WildHeart Esports. Their composition: Buds, Unaverted, Zergling, Funds, and Pitkid. They of course do have a 6th player. They have yet to need to use them. With WildHeart Esports having Weary Day, yet to need them. That is their sub. That is their support sub. Weary Day, a very strong player, but Buds has shown up for most games, and a lot of these players have experience playing with each other. So WildHeart Esports playing quite well and seeming pretty comfortable with the 5-man they are running as is. In terms of players like Buds, let's actually dive deeper into them. Support player, playing beautifully this season, has had some great performances so far. They have played some insane compositions. They started off as Team 8, making it in with that strange 2-8 composition, where 2-8 made it into HGC and then left the team for reasons. I think the argument was he would make less from HGC than he would from streaming. I don't know what he's streaming now. I'm sure he's still streaming something. They placed reasonably well. They made it in the Western Clash as Team 8 and placed 4th after losing 3-0 to Team Dignitas. And they did pretty well in the North American HGC in general, finishing 2nd in the North American League of 2017 and 1st in Phase 2. But by that point, they'd swapped their team to Roll20. In the Grand Finals, they finished 5th, losing to Ballistics. In 2018, they had a different name. They started off as Team 12 and then quickly swapped to Octalysis, where they finished more middle of the board. They had a lot of teams who were really stepping up here, with HeroesCCL and Team Freedom really starting to become the top teams in the North American series, in the North American League there, and starting to get a couple more wins and play a little bit stronger. However, they still finished quite well, and Buds did perform very effectively, playing for quite a few teams. Team Name Change, a very legendary team back in the day as well. Of course, we mentioned Roll20, Team 8, Octalysis, and Team 12. He then played for Simplicity for a bit, but currently is playing for WildHeart Esports. He's a solid player, has some really good accolades underneath his belt. He's a very chill player. We'll see what he could do. He's definitely doesn't care what people think about him. Speaking of not caring what people think about him, Justing, another absolute legend of the scene, has played very well. Justing, aka Pitkid, has played beautifully on multiple teams, currently playing, as we mentioned, for WildHeart Esports, but has a very similar route to Buds. Again, these two players have been through thick and thin together, stuck together very effectively. THC, Team Higher Consciousness, all the way back in 2015 when the game released. And then Team Name Change, as we already mentioned, another Buds team. And then again, very similar team route. Team 8, Roll20, Team 12, Octalysis, Simplicity. He did have a quick gap as the Storm League Crusaders, which I'm not actually familiar with, but he then played WildHeart for WildHeart Esports up to today. It's some good performances, but he's got a little bit more to go through to try and keep that team up at the higher echelons of victory. Now let's have a look at the side of Chili Mountain here. Let's start off with a player who probably has the most experience out of most of the players on this team, and that would be Darkmock. Darkmock has played for quite a few teams, starting with Team Spartanian is the first team he played on that really started to get some solid success before moving over to My Insanity, which won DreamHack Tours back in 2016. This is the beating out Fnatic at the time. This was at maybe one of the peaks of his career, before eventually moving over to Team Liquid. The very strong Team Liquid lineup with Hasuobs and players like that, where they had a really strong performance through 2017, but they were never able to break that top 3, losing to Dignitas, to Expert, and Team Wish at some point. I forgot Wish was a team, but that was fun. In 2018, a little bit less successful. He started off on Team Diamond Skin, dropping out of HGC at Seed 7, finishing 7th and then losing Crucible, but then being able to move over to Granite Gaming, where he was able to put on enough of a performance to finish 6th in the HGC Europe Pro Division as well. So Dartmock, very experienced player, started to fade a little bit at the end of the season, but he still got that insane skill. He's got that knowledge. Let's see if he can use some of that experience to guide his team to victory in what shall be game number 3 of this best of 5 series. My Insanity, yep, the famous one map away from qualifying for 2016 BlizzCon. Was absolutely crazy. Yeah, and Fnatic qualified instead and beat MVP Black. It was really fun to see. Jelly Mountain, they take the first pick, first ban. No surprises there as they force WildHearts to pick the map. It's Battlefield of Eternity, and Medivh shall be removed. We are at the start. Let's get this going. Chromie going to be banned out. This is what they are afraid of. Again, this is more a CPX pick, but we do know that Jelly Mountain will be more than happy to pick it up if it is left open. Jelly Mountain now. Picks number 3, ban number 3. WildHeart Esports. Is it worth banning the Auric at this point? That is a good question. Maybe some race potential. They ban Zul'Jin. Very interesting ban here. Let's have a look at WildHearts here. They have yet to play Zul'Jin, so this is definitely scrim information that they are running with here to try and use that to their advantage. Will it make the difference? Zul'Jin, a very surprising ban. Cassia, a little bit more standard here. Cassia, of course, has been played by everyone this season, but has been played by Jelly Mountain once or twice as well. Jelly Mountain, they first pick Rexxar again. Didn't work out last game, but it did give them a lot of map control. They did pick up quite a few kills with it. So therefore, makes sense in this game. Gives them a little bit of extra bear race. Having that little bit of extra body gives you actually quite solid DPS on Rexxar. And allows you to poke the Immortal from range. Hanzo. Fantastic Immortal race, and Yrel for Zergling. Very exciting start here with that Yrel coming in. It was very effective last game. Stukov and Varian. We saw it banned in game number 1. It will make its way in this time. Stukov and Varian giving them that very good single target burst composition. Jelly Mountain, they are hunting. That's the style they're going for in this game. They've run a similar draft to this in the past. It was not successful, but very little they have played has been successful so far. But we've seen differing degrees of loss, and this is one of the ones where they've been able to execute. This is their first Varian, though. See if they're going to be able to transfer that into a victory. There goes Li Ming being removed here. Yeah, first Varian for Jelly Mountain. They removed the Garrosh. Garrosh, one of the heroes who could very easily counter that Varian, throwing people out, and of course, throwing a Varian in. If he taunts your teammate, well, you throw him into the rest of the team and you let him die. WildHeart Esports. What do we see for them now? They need a main tank? Or do they? It's WildHeart. They get the Arthas again. It's a very frontline heavy composition. And Uther. This leaves them very flexible. They could very easily swap this Uther onto someone else like Funds and play with the triple frontline once again. Uther with great CC, Arthas with attack speed slow for Varian. It's going to make it very hard to get full value here. Arthas going to stack so easily thanks to the extra bear on the board. Pick it. It's a smart play here. Jelly Mountain. They get the Sylve. And they get the Greymane. They're again going for full single target burst here, but there's Uther on the board. It's a risk that they are playing now, because Uther could very easily Divine Shield if they go for a single target burst style. Arthas is tanky. Yrel is tanky. It's going to be hard to deal. Greymane into Arthas for the second time this series. Cursed Bullet will help. Cursed Bullet really does mess up Arthas. but it's the follow-up that they may struggle with. This kind of has to be an overwhelming affliction to make this work, in my opinion. And Alarak, wow! That's a great disengage tool for WildHearts. They now have the ability to disengage, to turn fights on their head. You engage, you're pulled in, you're silenced, you're punished for that engage. First Alarak of the season coming in for WildHeart Esports, but I think this is an insane pickup here. They have a really tanky front line, almost impossible to deal with, and now they have a fantastic turnaround tool that offers a lot of extra damage to this team. This is smart. Great player. I think WildHearts have slam dunked this. I think they will be going home with the victory. So, before we head into the game, one more time, because I think this might be the last game of the night, I want to say, if you're enjoying the show, ladies and gentlemen, please drop a follow, drop a sub, drop some bits or a donation with Streamlabs if you have any expendable income, anything to spare. It is appreciated. I can only do this thanks to the support of people out there who are very generous to support my casting. I'm just offering the alternative cast right now. And of course, a big thank you to our sponsor for the month. It is Simply Nut Gaming. The month is coming to an end. I mean, you have just a couple days left to purchase a Ghost Canyon or any of the other systems in the People's Choice campaign. But the Ghost Canyon has a $400 discount. Exclamation mark SNUC in chat to find out details and see the discounts on all of the other systems that they have, as we're going to head in to game number 3. Let's get this going. Thank you, Simply Duck, for the sponsorship as we head in. On the left, WildHeart Esports, all but one medallion has been burned. On the right, Chili Mountain, looking for their first map win. But look at this. The medallion has been saved. Unless he plans to do it in his face. In which case, even more BM than before. But Yrel, I can't tell if this is respect or not, because if he medallions in his face now, then that makes sense. But I think I like the idea of Yrel keeping the medallion, because at any point, Varian could rotate in and gank from offlane, and that's a very useful strategy for Varian compositions, to rotate and gank the offlane. So keeping that medallion, this might be WildHeart giving the respect to Chili Mountain. Never mind, it got used. Medallion is burned. Oh, they just missed the Discord strike. Maka able to stay alive there, as we saw the attempt at the engage from WildHeart Esports. This time they get the Discord strike, but it was onto Bear Galt, tanky enough to sustain his way through. Spirit Swoop coming in, sorry, the easy prey for the Rexar. And down goes Varian. They get the telekinesis that time. Varian, very little way to escape. Didn't even have time to medallion his way out. The Varian medallion, not helpful in this scenario. They start on the goat camp straight away. We'll see the Impaler Kazrakam being taken out. Ruthless Momentum, by the way, for the Alarak. Mana cost reduction and cooldown reduction when above 80% health. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Dartmok, Mysticles is already rotated up to try and help him with this camp. Zergling could try and make his way in for an invade. They have funds as well, but too late. So instead, looks like they might look for a kill. The bear did not notice funds. Do they know he is here? Dartmok steps up. Root misses. Medallion. Telekinesis is burned. Can Zergling position it? No, they can't. Zergling, in fact, drops low. Basically, he's looking for the turnaround, but the slow from Pit Kid is too good. They will all back away. Mr. Clee stays alive. Sylvanas, by the way, did not go for Overwhelming Affliction. She went instead for the Might of the Banshee Queen, giving herself a little bit more spell power. It makes sense. I think I would have preferred the percentage damage to deal with Arthas, but that actual insane damage output can really get some good spread damage going, and that can really punish Uther and keep him having a bad time. There's the focus onto Zergling, who uses the Hand of Freedom and gets away. Zergling is out of there. Alarak, show of force. If you hit with three of Alarak's abilities, not just basic abilities, 3 abilities, Zergling, be careful. Funds also get silenced. Misha is killed. If you hit with 3 abilities, then you get bonus damage. 61 damage, and it gives Alarak 2 sadism. Up to 20% maximum. That sadism, of course, lost upon death, so Alarak already up to 6 stacks so far. So all he has to hit is with 3 abilities. And that can include heroics once he gets them. Funds makes his way forward. big damage, and yeah, that sadism is going away. Goodbye. Taken out there. They look for Chimera. Zergling very deep in the backline, cannot find the kill. In fact, he's the weighted pustule. Lurking arm is good. And Chili Mountain, they're fighting back. WildHeart Esports will back away though. They'll tank through. Looking good so far. Big focus, easy kill, down goes Uther. That was a very good kill by Chili Mountain, fantastic engagement. There's the telekinesis again, Mystically he's dropped low. 2 sadism for Alarak. Already working his way up, trying to stack that damage output to get huge bursts. Race will be won by Chili Mountain. With that kill, they took the better position. And Chili Mountain, looking good this game. This is one of the first leads they have had. Almost a half-level lead in their favor right now as they make their way into the bot lane to get some push going. Cocktail does some good damage. Victory Rush, of course. And Quicksilver Bullets. Oh, that's going to be helpful for Mysticles. Keep him safe. And another burst still. We see even more single target burst damage coming out of Market. The second one of those we've seen today. Telekinesis, good damage. There we go. No stacks actually. Funz does not gain any sadism stacks. In fact, loses a bit here as he takes his level 7. They try to get Marker, try to chase him down. In the meantime, Zergling taking a lot of damage. Good route. Marker focused, healed, but he will be sniped. Now can Pitkid get away? Telekinesis. Disco Strike hits no one, just a knockback of Zergling. A little bit of anti-synergy there. Buds, Funz, all trying to delay. Lurking arm, Funz, telekinesis, gets himself out using that applied force for the extra telekinesis range. And Zergling, he will get out as well. They're still fighting. Their health bars are looking good, but they're still willing to fight. Zergling coming in with that blessed momentum. And they survive. Yeah, that applied force, quick picked by Alarak there, by Funz to get out of danger. Getting that reduced sadism by 10%, which of course means the maximum current sadism is 110. Looking for the damage. Oh, Funz. Gotta be careful of that engaged. Zergling really piles on the pressure. A little silent to Bergelt. But that 20% extra telekinesis and 20% range. 20% extra push, 20% range. Really gonna help keep Alarak safe. Wave cleared out. No trouble there. Nothing too bad for WildHeart to deal with. Pitkid spotted by Misha, does not land the route. Believed the bear was chasing him, but in fact the bear was just trying to escape. Camp going to be started by WildHeart, looking for the steal. Here comes Chili Mountain though. Looking for their 3rd kill of the game. Telekinesis used to keep Bergalt out of danger. Bergalt, on the other hand, looks to engage but cannot find the kill. Won't use that jug more than once, it will confuse people. Holy Fire and a change. Buds busting out the cleanse. They don't go for Guardian of Ancient Kings for once. Instead, they actually bust out the Hand of Protection. Giving Uther that cleanse cooldown reduction on auto attacks to get them out of danger. They don't go for the armor. Bit of a rough position there for Funz, who got chunked by stepping into the Immortal Stun. Got completely punished out there. Has to be healed up by Uther, not even healed all the way. Bad position for Funz. Telekinesis. Focus. Silence. Where's the taunt? Bergalt makes it through. Funz. Discord Strike, and he will be killed. Down to 90 sadism. Pitkid also chased. The sheer relentlessness of Chili Mountain as they chase down WildHeart Esports. They look for Mysticles. Cannot find him. Quick stun for Buds, and they'll back away. A WildHeart Esports throwing. We're seeing Chili Mountain. They're showing them the biz this time. They've got a single target blow-up comp for a lot of CC, and they are punishing him with it. We have Divine Shield now. We have Dragon Arrow. Pitkid, Justing, yet to pick level 10, but it probably should be Ghouls. That extra sustain could be good, but Syndragosa with a Punisher is really strong. Both could be valued. Both could be good, but they're holding it for now. They make their way in. Undefender already dropped. Pit Kid diving forward. Looks for Maka. Maka dances away. Telekinesis. Good damage. Dragon Arrow sidestepped. That's the turnaround onto Pit Kid, who is in trouble. May have to quick pick ghouls. They're forced to back away. There's the taunt. Onto Alarak. Fun's in trouble. Divine Shield. They look for the turnaround with that. There's the ghouls. Have to be used by Pit Kid. He's too low on health. They've burned them out to try and get the kill as they find the kill onto Greymane. They look for more, can't chase anyone, so they instead finish off the Immortal. Huge amounts of damage coming in here. Turnaround from Beargalt, quick silence from the Discord Strike, body box from Buds. But great positioning by Chimera, a wonderful lurking arm. Gets Beargalt out, and they actually protect the Immortal. Staying alive, well played, Chilly Mountain. They keep the defense going. Counter Immortal, ooh, Pit Kid. Being forced to port all the way back. By the way, did not go for the level 4 Frozen Waste. Instead went for Deathlord. Increased range. It was used on an enemy hero. The Malacross is refunded. That's a lot of damage onto Zergling. The turnaround. Cursed Bullet. Burst Cullet. Picks up the kill. The burst damage is so good. Dragon Arrow lands onto Beargalt. Follow-up stun. Used, but they don't achieve anything. Now Pit Kid in a little bit of trouble. It's Burning Icebound Fortitude for the turnaround. Double Root comes out. But without Yrel, do they have the ability to really move forward here? They're going to take out the bear. But that's been a lot of their kills this game. Finding Misha. They're able to take her out again. 118 stacks on Sadism now. There's the kill onto Syl. This time, Chilly Mountain are on the back foot, and WildHeart are finally able to get a kill. Counter-strike. Dartmock able to sidestep that. Immortal does go over to WildHeart Esports. Ports come out. And they're going to make their way up to the top lane to push in here. 123 Sadism stacks. It's a lot of damage now as they make their way in. Yrel down in the bottom lane, pushing. Root. Medallion burned by Marker. Taunt onto Arthur's Cursed Bullet. Bear stun, but the Immortal stun keeps everyone zoned out so much they can't follow up. Pit Kid remains safe, and instead they start to bully the bear. More stacks! 126. Fort goes down, Immortal down to just over half health, meaning it will not be able to push too much further. We'll get a little bit of damage done, but still, especially with the single target damage build, we'll actually be able to clear that relatively quickly. Arthur's busting out the shattered armor. A little bit of armor reduction there for a little bit of extra burst. Alarak bringing out the Blades of the High Lord. Basic attacks against hero increase Sadism by 2%, stacking up to 40%. Anything he gets is lost on death. This is scaling. 126 right now, unaverted, is looking for Darkmock, can't find him. The bear causing some real grief there. Scatter Arrow very nearly demats Darkmock, but he's able to avoid it. Aldor Peacekeeper coming in here. Yrel mixing it up here. Let's see if that makes a difference. Of course, that is damage reduction. Enemies hit by Vindication, which is Yrel's Q, deal 40% less damage for 3 seconds. It's a good chunk of change. They also have the well-met double damage reduction between Uther and Yrel. Very holy. We see the percentage damage coming in for Varian on his level 13. Busting out the Juggernaut, 4% of the maximum health without the cooldown reduction of Warbringer. Instead going with Shield Wall on level 10. 4% damage, all is good for burst. You can see Sylv really all in on this Q-based build here. Going with the Windrunner. Reset that Withering Fire. Taunt, burst, goodbye. Dragon Arrow parting the sea. That's a Good kill, killing Yrel before the objective starts. Boars, in fact, coming out, force the members of WildHeart to back all the way up. Buds drops the stun, is forced to self-divine shield. They also burn ghouls. This is a very easily won fight for Chili Mountain. Oh, ghouls get it! They get the kill. Bear down. That's more stacks. 131 for the Alarak. This seems to be the play. Just stack Alarak until he wins. Level lead still in favor of WildHeart Esports. Bruiser Camp pushing in, takes down the bottom fort. They don't even clear it. Darmok headed down to clear it, but they're actually going to leave it to keep pushing. Everyone is now alive for WildHeart Esports. Yrel is back. Telekinesis spots the trap, but the taunt is still dropped. Yrel, this time, gets the Ardent Defender off. They look for the turnaround play. Massive shove pushes Zergling back. They disengage. Level 16 just around the corner. Bruiser Cap pushing the keep wall right now. Assistance will be needed from Chili Mountain, and as such, we immediately see WildHeart Esports move in for the race. Full scatter arrow Hanzo really going to be able to assist with this race. They'll get a lot of damage onto it. Telekinesis forces Bergolt to back up. Bottom keep survives, protected and saved by Chili Mountain. Keeping themselves in this. They are pushed up as level 16 is still hit by WildHeart Esports. We have that Death Lord coming in for Arthas. So going for even more damage here, combining the cooldown reduction, combining the extra range and mana cost refund. Goodbye Bear, 138 sadism stacks. Combining that with the Embrace Death, that 100% bonus damage, up to, depending on how much health Arthas has lost. They push in. Divine Shield, burned by Buds. Great Storm to focus. Great Dragon Arrow, sorry, to focus down Sylve as Zergling forces the way forward. Great play by Zergling as well to use that hammer to force Sylve into that position where she was hit by the Dragon Arrow. Bear lives because Pit Kid is too tanky and hasn't actually lost that much health. They're going to be able to grab themselves the Immortal just over half health right now. Mocking strikes, by the way, for Alarak, giving him that 1.5 second cooldown on basic abilities each auto attack. It is doubled against heroes who are stunned, rooted, silenced, or slowed. Allowing Alarak to get massive CDR with this team in particular, especially with Arthas, because that slow means Alarak, more autos, 143 sadism stacks, means more cooldown reduction, means more burst. Chili Mountain on the defense. A little bit of a slow follow-up by WildHearts, but they are here. WildHeart Esports pushing their way in. Telekinesis, and goodbye. That is burst. That is Alarak, 148 stacks. Look for Bergold, trying to focus him down. Telekinesis forcing him in. Big silence though, Dragon Arrow, and the damage onto Bergold is enough of Zergling wrapping around from the side. Feign Death from Darkbok, but it is delaying the inevitable. Down he goes, and they're even looking for the backline. They want the full team wipe. There's the root. They get the Stukov, leaving just Marker all in up the damage with Windrunner to try and escape. Counter-Strike, he's gonna get rooted, and that is the full team wipe going over to WildHeart Esports, who will push in for the 3-0 against Chili Mountain. Let's see that final fight again as the game ends. Telekinesis onto Bergolt. He tries to escape, but it's gonna be Zergling wrapping around perfectly to claim the fight there. They surround Darkbok for the kill, and you can see Chimera trying to escape. He's trying to bait out the swing of Zergling, but Zergling predicts it way too well. Marker goes for one last-ditch attempt with the reset to try and finish it, but the predictions from Pitkid are too good, and the fight is won by WildHeart Esports, and they take the game and the series in a 3-0. 92,000 damage at the end. Alarak, not top damage. Didn't stack enough. Report for feed. 2 deaths. 46,000 damage there. It was a very effective build. Really stacked up that sadism for good damage. Buds keeping the entire team alive was beautiful. And Pitkid, that Arthur's play with a very damage focus was very effective. A lot of ranged abilities being picked up here with Q damage, with W cooldown reduction, range, and armor reduction. Very fun to see. Marker, who went for the full reset style, was unable to bring it to bear in the end, and as such was punished and shut down because he was only hitting ghouls. For now though, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of our cast today. I really hope you enjoyed. I have a splitting headache, Jesus. I hope you enjoyed our cast today. I hope you enjoyed my coverage of CCL. If you did, for starters, before we leave, let's talk about what this means for the scores, which means I'm going to have to reset this botheration. 300 bits! Thank you very much, Gary Dactyl. Thank you very much indeed. Hey Tetcher, glad I was able to catch the stream. Always loved hearing you back when HGC was still going, and I really appreciate you explaining the various abilities while you cast. Makes it so much easier to follow the gameplay. Glad I could be of service. Thank you very much indeed. All right, let me do a quick refresh on this. Thank you so much, Gary Dactyl. Oh, I'm going to have to interact with this again. All right, hang on. Interact. Scroll, scroll. Is that it? Did I nail it? Ooh, close. Oh, it's going to be one of those days, isn't it? All right, scroll. Nailed it. Got it. So, at the end of that, Chili Mountain now sit at 0-12. Rough position to be in. WildHeart Esports, they will move themselves up. Technically, they should be behind Crowd Control because Crowd Control have one more map win, but they are tied in this case. I assume it's done on versus because Crowd Control lost to WildHearts. But you can see the differential score is actually 5-5. So WildHearts winning that is a big deal here. Simplicity, they will be having it. They now have to win 3-0 tomorrow in order to catch up and create a 3-way tie for second place. Should be fun to see. Oxygen, they're just going to be looking to try and keep themselves in the league. Because if they lose 0-3 in their match tomorrow, they will actually fall behind WildHeart Esports because they'll have less map wins and crowd control. Ooh, interesting. The pressure is on. We'll see if that is enough, but let's see by checking out what our games tomorrow will be. Our games tomorrow will consist of Sidestep Kings taking on Team Oxygen. Sidestep Kings, a lot of people's favorites looking at when the draft came out, but are taking a while to scale. They've made some changes, and they do appear to be performing quite well with those changes, but they still appear to be struggling in the early set, and now they play against the top team in the league, Oxygen, with triple tank lineups, very similar to WildHeart, but are currently sitting at the top with a lot of flexibility and the ability to turn games on their head. Oxygen, let's see if they can hold on to that #1 position or if Sidestep Kings can move up the board. And then we have the battle of the middle of the pack. 2-1 versus 1-2, 7-5 versus 5-6. It is going to be 30k versus Simplicity. I'm calling that as the match of the week. I think this is going to be the most entertaining one and is definitely worth a watch. The second time Simplicity have taken place in my match of the week. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. I will be bringing you all of those games and all of the action. But if you enjoyed the stream, that's all happening tomorrow. But first, if you enjoyed, please consider following the stream so you can see when I go live tomorrow and when I go live with more CCL and other streaming action. And of course, if you enjoyed, maybe consider dropping a donation with bits like Gary Dactyl just did, or via my Streamlabs in the link below the stream. It's incredibly appreciated. It's very hard to make it by due to the fact that I have no events going on. That was my big bread and butter back in the day, where events were the big payday. And of course, there's no HGC to pay me, and HeroesCCL don't seem interested. So I'm having to just manage with the generosity of people like you guys supporting me, and it is so appreciated. So if you have anything spare, it's incredibly appreciated, and it's the reason I can keep doing this. So subs, bits, Streamlabs, anything like that is all very appreciated. And a big thank you, as their sponsorship will be coming to an end in the next couple of days, to Simply Nuck Gaming. With their People's Choice campaign at an end, you can now check out their Black Friday to Cyber Monday discounts, with the Ghost Canyon winning the biggest Black Friday discount thanks to your votes. It now has a $400 discount, meaning you can get yourself a powerful system with i7s, i9s, up to 270 graphics card in it for $400 less. Thank you all for your support, and thank you Simply Nuck for your support. All the other systems that were in the People's Choice campaign as well have big discounts as well. So you can show your support by heading over to Simply Nuck and checking them out. !SNUC in the chat. And Gromnin, Gronmin, I always do it wrong. Thank you very much for your sub at tier 1. It is incredibly appreciated. But for now, for me, that shall be the end of the stream. I'm going to find someone to raid over. I hope you all had a wonderful evening. Make sure to tune back in tomorrow so that you can see all the games as they happen. I'm your alternative caster, Tetcher. If you want to tune in to me instead of the main stream, it is very appreciated. I appreciate you choosing to spend your time on the Tetcher channel today. Thank you all for a wonderful evening, and I will see you all next time. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.